So glad you decided to ride and listen with TeeTeeMeMe. I'm going to be reading the Hallelujah scriptures to you. I guess you'll probably be sleeping, but know that you still need to study for yourself. Bemidbar, aka Numbers 11. And it came to be when the people were as complainers, it was evil in the ears of Yahuah. And Yahuah heard it, and his displeasure burned, and the fire of Yahuah burned among them, and consumed those on the outskirts of the camp. Oh my goodness! And and the people cried out to Moshe, and Moshe prayed to Yahuah, and the fire died down. Then he called the name of the place Taberah, because the fire of Yahuah had burned among them. And the mixed multitude who were in their midst lusted greatly. So the children of Israel also wept again and said, who is giving us meat to eat? We remember the fish we ate without cost in Mitzrayim, the cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and the onions and the garlic. Oh, they're going on about it. But now our life is dried up. There is naught to look at but this manna. Now the manna was like coriander seed, and its appearance like the appearance of bdellium. I think that's the same as myrrh or something like it. The people went about and gathered it, ground it on millstones, and beat it on the mortar, and cooked it in a pot, and made cakes of it. And its taste was as the taste of cakes baked with oil. And when the dew fell on the camp at night, the manna fell on it. Can you imagine that? And Moshe heard the people weeping throughout their clans, each man at the door of his tent, and the displeasure of Yahuwah burned exceedingly, and in the eyes of Moshe it was evil. So Moshe said to Yahuwah, why have you done evil to your servant? And why have I not found favor in your eyes to put the burden of all these people on me? Was it I who conceived all these people? Oh, Moshe, you. Was it I who brought them forth, that you should say to me, carry them in your bosom, as the foster father carries a nursing child, to the land which you swore to the fathers? Where am I to get meat to give to all these people? For they weep before me, saying, give us meat to eat. I am unable to bear all these people alone, because the burden is too heavy for me. And if you are doing this to me, please slay me altogether. If I have found favor in your eyes, and let me not see my evil. Oh wow, Moshe said he'd rather die. Then Yahuwah said to Moshe, gather to me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom you know to be the elders of the people and officers over them, and bring them to the tent of appointment, and let them stand there with you. And I shall come down and speak with you there, and shall take of the Ruah that is on you, and put on them, and they shall bear the burden of the people with you, so that you do not bear it yourself alone. Oh wow, so everybody didn't have the Holy Ghost. Uh okay. All right. So Moses was like an intercessor, because the people came to him in order for him to go pray. Talk to Yahuwah. Gotta look that up. Anyway, and this is verse 18. And say to the people, Kadosh yourself for tomorrow, and you shall eat meat, because you have wept in the hearing of Yahuwah, saying, who has given us meat to eat? For it was well with us in Mitzrayim. And Yahuwah shall give you meat, and you shall eat. Mm. You are going to eat not 1 day, nor 2 days, nor 5 days, nor 10 days, nor 20 days, but for a month of days, until it comes out of your nostril. Oh, and becomes an abomination to you, because you have rejected Yahuwah, who is among you, and have wept before him, saying, why did we come up out of Mitzrayim? Boy, they forget quick. I guess we all do. Oh man, he said he gonna feed them till it come out their nose. I ain't even know the Moshe said, "The people in whose midst I am are 600,000 men on foot, and you have said, I give them meat to eat for a month of days. Could flocks and herds be slaughtered for them to be sufficient for them? Or could all the fish of the sea be gathered together for them to be sufficient for them?" And Yahuwah said to Moshe, "Is the arm of Yahuwah too short?" Oh, so that's where it come from. Now see whether my word meets you or not. Oh boy. And Moshe went out and spoke to the people the words of Yahuwah, and he gathered the 70 men of the elders of the people and stood them around the tent. And Yahuwah came down in the cloud and spoke to him, and took on the Ruah that was upon him, and placed the same upon the 70 elders. And it came to be when the Ruah rested upon them that they nabu, but did not continue. And nabu is prophesy. Okay. However, two men had remained in the camp. The name of one was Eldad, and the name of the other Medad. Wait a minute, I gotta go back. Verse 25. And it came to be when the Ruah rested upon them that they nabu, but did not continue. So they prophesied, but did not continue. Okay. However, two men had remained in the camp. The name of one was Eldad, and the name of the other Medad, and the Ruah rested upon them. Now they were among those listed, but did not go out to the tent, and they nabu in the camp. And a young man ran and informed Moshe and said, Eldad and Medad nabah in the camp. And Yehoshua, son of Nun, Moshe, assistant from his youth, answered and said, Moshe, my master, forbid them. Then Moshe said to him, Are you jealous for my sake? Oh, that all the people of Yahuwah were Nibiim, that Yahuwah would put his Rahuah upon them. Uh, that's prophets, Nibiim, I believe that's prophets. And Moshe returned to the camp, both he and the elders of Israel. And a wind went forth from Yahuwah, and it brought quail from the sea, and let them fall beside the camp, about a day's journey on this side, and about a day's journey on the other side, all around the camp, and about 2 amma above the surface of the ground. And the people were up all that day, and all that night, and all that day, and gathered the quail. He who had least gathered 10 homers, and they spread them out for themselves all around the camp. The meat was still between their teeth before it was chewed, and the wrath of Yahuwah burned against the people, and Yahuwah smote the people with an exceeding great plague. Oh. Then he called the name of that place Kibroth Ha-Ti-Awa. Oh, I should look that up. Because there they buried the people who had lusted. From Kibro Ha-Ta-Awa, the people departed for Hatzeroth, and they were Hatzeroth. We've got Bemidbar, otherwise known as Numbers, chapter 12. Now Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moshe because of the Cushite wife whom he had taken, for he had taken a Cushite wife. And they said, Has Yahuwah spoken only through Moshe? Has he not also spoken through us? And Yahuwah heard it. Okay. And the man Moshe was very humble, more than all men who were on the face of the earth. Oh, wow. And suddenly Yahuwah said to Moshe and Aaron and Miriam, You three come out to the tent of appointment. So the three came out, and Yahuwah came down in the column of cloud and stood on the door of the tent and called Aaron. Y'all probably wonder why I'm saying it like that, but it's Aharon. So Key and Peele was right. Aaron. And Miriam. And they both went forward. And he said, Hear now my words. If your Nabi is Yahuwah, I make myself known to him in a vision, and I speak to him in a dream. Not so with my servant Moshe. He is trustworthy in all my house. I speak with him mouth to mouth and plainly, and not in riddles, and he sees the form of Yahuwah. So why were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moshe? And the displeasure, the displeasure of Yahuwah burned against him again, and he left. Oh my goodness. And the cloud turned away from above the tent and looked. Miriam was leprous, as white as snow, and Aaron turned toward Miriam and looked, a leper. And Aaron said to Moshe, "O my master, please do not hold against us a sin in which we have done foolishly and in which we have sinned." So he got upset because they talked against Moses. Oh, Moshe, oh. Please do not let her be as one dead when coming out of its mother's womb, with our flesh half consumed. And Moshe cried out to Yahuwah, saying, "O El, please heal her, please." And Yahuwah said to Moshe, "If her father had but spit in her face, would she not be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut out of the camp 7 days, and after that let her be readmitted." Mercy. And Miriam was shut out of the camp 7 days, and the people did not depart until Miriam was readmitted. And afterward the people departed from Ha- Hatzerah and camped. They camped in the wilderness of Paran. Okay. Bemidbar, otherwise known as Numbers, chapter 13. Okay, just give yourself some grace on this because you know you're going to get all these names wrong. Alrighty. So, chapter 13. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, "Send men to speak out the land of Canaan, which I am giving the children of Israel. Send one man from each tribe of their fathers, every one a leader among them." And by the command of Yahuwah, Moshe sent them from the wilderness of Paran, all of them men who were heads of the children of Israel. And these were their names. From the tribe of Reuben, Shammua, son of Zaccur. From the tribe of Shimon, Shaphat, son of Hori. From the tribe of Yehuda, Caleb, son of Yephuneh. From the tribe of Issachar, Yigal, son of Yosef. From the tribe of Ephraim, Yehoshea, son of Nun. From the tribe of Benjamin, Palti, son of Raphu. From the tribe of Zebulun, Gadil, son of Sodi. From the tribe of Joseph. From the tribe of Manasseh, Gadi, son of Susi. From the tribe of Dan, Amiel, son of Gamali. From the tribe of Asher, Shethur, son of Michael. From the tribe of Naphtali, Nabi, son of Wolfsi. From the tribe of Gad, Joel, son of Maki. These are the names of the men whom Moshe sent to spy out the land. And Moshe called Hosea, the son of Nun, Yahushua. Yahushua. And Moshe sent them to spy out the land of Canaan and said to them, "Go up here into the Negeb and go up to the mountains and see what the land is like, and the people who dwell in it, whether strong or weak, whether few or many, and whether the land they dwell in is good or evil, whether the cities they inhabit are in camps or strongholds, and whether the land is rich or poor, and whether there are forests there or not. And you shall be strong, and bring some of the fruit of the land." Now the time was the season of the first fruits of grapes. So they went up and spied out the land from the wilderness of Tisin, as far as Rehob, near the entrance of Hamath. And they went up through the Negeb and came to Hebron and Iamon, Shishai, and Talmai, who the descendants of Anak were there. Now Hebron had been built 7 years before Sawain in Mitzrayim, and they came to the Wadi Escol and cut down from there a branch with one cluster of grapes, and they bore it between two of them on a pole. Oh, it must have been a lot of grapes. Also of the pomegranates and of the figs. That place was called the Wadi Eshcol because of the cluster which the men of Israel cut down from there. And they returned from spying out the land after 40 days. Wow, 40 days. And they went and came to Moshe and Aharon and all the congregation of the children of Israel in the wilderness of Paran at Kadesh. And they brought back word to them and to all the congregation and showed them the fruit of the land. And they reported to him and said, we went to the land where you sent us, and truly it flows with milk and honey. This is its fruit. But the people who dwell in the land are strong, and the cities are walled very great. And we saw the descendants of Anak there too. The Amalekites dwell in the land of Negeb, while the Hittites and the Jebusites and the Amorites dwell in the mountains. And the Canaanites dwell by the sea and along the banks of the Jordan. And Caleb silenced the people before Moshe and said, let us go up at once and take possession, for we are certainly able to overcome it. But the men who had gone up with him said, we are not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we. And they gave the children of Israel an evil report of the land which they had spied out, saying, the land through which we have gone as spies is a land eating up its inhabitants, and all the people whom we saw in it are men of great size. And we saw there the Nephilim, sons of Anak of the Nephilim, and we were like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and so we were in their eyes. Nephilim, that's some giants. Midbar, otherwise known as Numbers, chapter 14. Now, in chapter 13, 12, and 13, I think Yahuah was very upset with everybody, with those people, because they were complaining about everything. And this last time he gave Miriam leprosy and had mercy on her because her husband was hollering out, about it. So she just got exiled 7 days. But they didn't learn a whole lot. They complained against Moses, Moshe. It's not good. Anyway, so chapter 14. Then all the congregation lifted up their voices and cried, and the people wept that night. And all the children of Israel grumbled against Moshe and against Aaron. And all the congregation said to them, if only we had died in the land of Mitzrayim, or if only we had died in this wilderness. And why is Yahuwah bringing us to this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and children should become a prey? Would it not be better for us to turn back to Mitzrayim? Oh yeah, okay. The other thing in 13 was that they sent some people out to go scope out the land they were going to, and they came back and said giants were living there. I don't know why. And they said to each other, let us appoint a leader and let us turn back to Mitzrayim. Oh, oh, not again. This is verse 5. Then Moshe and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the children of Israel. And Yehoshua, Yahushua, try not to saying it like, Yahusha, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, who were among those who had spied out the land, tore their garments. And they spoke to all the congregation of the children of Israel, saying, the land we passed through to spy out is an exceedingly good land. If Yahuwah has delighted in us, then he shall bring us into this land and give it to us, a land which is flowing with milk and honey. Finally, only do not rebel against Yahuwah, nor fear the people of the land, for they are our bread. Their defense is turned away from them, and Yahuwah is with us. Do not fear them. But all the congregation said to stone them with stones. Then the esteem of Yahuwah appeared in the tent of appointment before all the children of Israel. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, how long shall I be scorned by these people? And how long shall I not be trusted by them with all the signs which I have done in their midst? Really. Let me smite them with the pestilence and disinherit them and make of you a nation greater and mightier than they. And Moshe said to Yahuwah, then the Mizrahites shall hear it, for by your power you brought these people up from their midst. And they shall say to the inhabitants of this land, they have heard that you, Yahuwah, are in the midst of these people, that you, Yahuwah, are seen eye to eye, and that your cloud stands above them, and you go before them in a column of cloud by day and in a column of fire by night. Now, if you shall kill these people as one man, then the nations which have heard of your report shall speak, saying, because Yahuwah was not able to bring these people to the land which he swore to them to give them, therefore he killed them in the wilderness. And now I pray, let the power of Yahuwah be great, as you have spoken, saying, Yahuwah is patient and of great kindness, forgiving wickedness and transgression, but by no means leaving unpunished, visiting the wickedness of the fathers on the children to the third and fourth generation. Please forgive the wickedness of these people according to the greatness of your kindness, as you have forgiven this people from Mitzrayim even until now. And Yahuwah said, I shall forgive according to your word. But truly, as I live, and all the earth is filled with the esteem of Yahuwah. For none of these men who have seen my esteem and the signs which I did in Mitzrayim and in the wilderness, and have tried me now these 10 days, these 10 times, and have disobeyed my voice, shall see the land of which I swore to their fathers, nor any of those who scorn me see it. But my servant Caleb, because he has a different spirit in him and has followed me completely, I shall bring into the land where he went, and his seed shall inherit it. Since the Amalekites and the Canaanites are dwelling in the valley, turn back tomorrow and depart into the wilderness by the way of the Sea of Reeds. Verse 26. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe and said, Aaron, saying, how long shall this evil congregation have this grumbling against me? I have heard the grumblings with the children of Israel are grumbling against me. Say to them, as I live, declares Yahuwah, as you have spoken in my hearing, so I do to you. The carcasses of you who have grumbled against me are going to fall in this wilderness. All of you who were registered according to your entire number from 20 years old and above. None of you except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Yahushua, son of Nun, shall enter the land which I swore I would make you dwell in. But your little ones, whom you said will become a prey, I shall bring in, and they shall know the land which you have rejected. But as for you, your carcasses are going to fall in the wilderness. And your sons shall be wanderers in the wilderness 40 years, and shall bear your whorings until your carcasses are consumed in the wilderness. According to the number of the days in which you spied out the land, 40 days, a day for a year, a day for a year, you are to bear your wickedness 40 years, and you shall know my break off. I am Yahuwah, and I have spoken. I shall do this to all this evil congregation who are meeting against me. In this wilderness they are consumed, and there they die. And the men whom Moshe sent to spy out the land, who returned and made all the congregation grumble against him by bringing the evil report of the land, even those men who brought the evil report about the land died by the plague before Yahuwah. Wow. Of those men who went to spy out the land, only Yahushua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, remained alive. And when Moshe spoke these words to all the children of Israel, the people mourned greatly. And they rose up early in the morning and went up to the top of the mountain, saying, see, we have indeed sinned, but we shall go up to the place which Yahuwah had spoken of. But Moshe said, why do you now transgress the command of Yahuah, since it does not prosper. Do not go up, lest you be smitten by your enemies, for Yahuah is not in your midst, because the Amalekites and the Canaanites are there before you, and you shall fall by the sword, because you have turned away from Yahuah. Yahuah is not with you. But they presume to go up to the mountaintop. Oh my goodness, and still. But neither the ark of the covenant of Yahuah nor Moshe left the camp. That would have told me right there, don't go. So the Amalekites and the Canaanites who dwell in that mountain came down and smote them and beat them down even to Hormah. Bemidbar, otherwise known as Numbers, chapter 15. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, When you have come into the land of your dwellings, which I am giving you, and you make an offering by fire to Yahuwah, a burnt offering or a slaughtering, to accomplish a vow, or as a voluntary offering, or in your appointed times, to make a sweet fragrance to Yahuwah from the herd or the flock, then he who brings near his offering to Yahuwah shall bring near a grain offering of 1/10 part of fine flour mixed with 1/4 of a hin of oil, and 1/4 of a hin of wine as a drink offering you prepare with the burnt offering or the slaughtering for each lamb. Or for a ram you prepare as a grain offering 2/10 parts of the fine flour mixed with 1/3 of a hin of oil, and as a drink offering you bring 1/3 of a hin of wine as a sweet fragrance to Yahuwah. Verse 8. And when you prepare a young bull as a burnt offering or as a slaughtering to accomplish a vow or as a peace offering to Yahuwah, then shall be brought with the young bull a grain offering of 3/10 parts of fine flour mixed with half a hin of oil, and bring as the drink offering half a hin of wine as an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahuwah. This is what is done for each young bull, for each ram, or for each lamb or young goat, according to the number that you prepare. So you do for each one according to their number. Let all who are native to do so with them, and bringing near an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahuwah. And when a stranger sojourns with you, or whoever is among you throughout your generations, and will make an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahuwah as you do, so he does. It had a lot of sweet fragrances. One law is for you of the assembly and for the stranger who sojourns with you, a law forever throughout your generations. As you are, so is the stranger before Yahuwah. One Torah and one right ruling is for you and for the stranger who sojourns with you. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, When you come into the land to which I bring you, then it shall be, when you eat of the bread of the land, that you present a contribution to Yahuwah. Present a cake of the first of your dough as a contribution of the threshing floor you presented. Of the first of your dough you are to give to Yahuwah a contribution throughout your generations. So I guess they're supposed to still be doing this stuff. And when you sin by mistake, and do not do all these commands which Yahuwah has spoken to Moshe, and all that Yahuwah has commanded you by the hand of Moshe, from the day Yahuwah gave command and onward through your generations. Then it shall be, if it is done by mistake, without the knowledge of the congregation, that all the congregation shall prepare one young bull as a burnt offering, as a sweet fragrance to Yahuwah with its grain offering and its drink offering, according to the right ruling, and one male goat as a sin offering. Then the Cohen shall make atonement for all the congregation of the children of Israel, and it shall be forgiven them, for it was by mistake. And they shall bring their offering, an offering made by fire to Yahuwah, and their sin offering before Yahuwah for their mistake. And it shall be forgiven all the congregation of the children of Israel, and the stranger who sojourns in their midst, because all the people did it by mistake. And if a being sins by mistake, then he shall bring a female goat a year old as a sin offering. And the Cohen shall make atonement for the being who strays by mistake, when he sins by mistake before Yahuah, to make atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. For him who makes a mistake, there is one Torah, both for him who is native among the children of Israel and for the stranger who sojourns in their midst. But the being who acts defiantly, whether he is native or a stranger, he reviles Yahuah, and that being shall be cut off from among his people, because he has despised the word of Yahuah and has broken his command. That being shall certainly be cut off, his wickedness is upon him. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man gathering sticks on the Sabbath day. And those who found him gathering sticks brought him to Moshe and to Aaron and to all the congregation. And they put him in under guard, because it had not been declared what should be done to him. He was gathering sticks. Oh. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, the man shall certainly be put to death, all the congregation stoning him with stones outside the camp. And all the congregation brought him outside the camp and stoned him with stones. Wait, let me go back. Wait a minute. Verse 34. And they put him in under guard, because it had not been declared what should be done to him. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, the man shall certainly be put to death, all the congregation stoning him with stones outside the camp. Oh, wow. And all the congregation brought him outside the camp and stoned him with stones, as Yahuwah commanded Moshe, and he died. They stoned him. Oh, we're very fortunate not to be getting stoned right now, because I know people gathering sticks every Sunday, every Shabbat, whether it's Saturday or Sunday or whenever. Speak to the children. Oh, wait a minute. Verse 37. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Israel, and you shall say to them to make sit, sit of on the corners of their garments throughout their generations. I think this was some kind of little pocket that they wear. I I gotta look that up too. Okay, to make sit on the corners of their garments throughout their generations, and to put a blue cord in the sit of the corners. And I think it's just a priest to do it. And it shall be to you for a sit, and you shall see it, and shall remember all the commands of Yahuwah, and shall do them, and not search after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you went whoring, so that you remember and shall do all my commands, and be Kodesh unto your Elohim. Oh, I got to read that again. And it shall be to you for a sit, and you shall see it, and shall remember all the commands of Yahuwah, and shall do them, and not search after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you went whoring, so that you remember and shall do all my commands, and be Kodesh unto your Elohim. Verse 41. I am Yahuwah, your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, to be your Elohim. I am Yahuwah, your Bemidbar, otherwise known as Numbers, chapter 16. Okay, these people have been having a hard time, but 16. And Korah, son of Yitshar, son of Kehath, son of Levi, took both Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and On, son of Peleth, sons of Reuben. And they rose up before Moshe with some of the children of Israel, 250 leaders of the congregation, called ones of the meeting, men of name. And they assembled against Moshe and against Aaron, and said to them, none of you, for all the congregation is Kodesh, all of them, and Yahuwah is in their midst. Why then do you lift up yourselves above the assembly of Yahuwah? And when Moshe heard, he fell on his face, and spoke to Korah and all his company, saying, tomorrow morning Yahuwah shall make known who is his and who is Kadesh, and come near to him, and let him bring near to him the one whom he chooses. Do this: take fire holders, Korah, and all your company, and put fire in them, and put incense in them before Yahuwah tomorrow. And it shall be that the one whom Yahuwah chooses is the Kadosh one. Enough of you, sons of Levi. And Moshe said to Korah, hear now, you sons of Levi. Is it little to you that the Elohim of Israel has separated you from the congregation of Israel to bring you near to himself, to perform the service of the Mishkan of Yahuwah, and to stand before the congregation to serve them? And that he has brought you near to himself, you and all your brothers, the sons of Levi, with you? Yet you seek the kahuna as well? Therefore you and all your company are assembled against Yahuwah, and Aaron, what is he that you grumble against him? And Moshe said to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, but they said, we are not coming up. Is it little that you have brought us up out of a land flowing with milk and honey, to kill us in the wilderness, that you would also seize total rule over us? Oh, good gracious. Also, you have not brought us into a land flowing with milk and honey, nor given us inheritance of fields and vineyards. Would you bore out the eyes of these men? We are not coming up. And Moshe became very displeased and said to Yahuwah, do not respect their offering. I have not taken one donkey for them, nor have I done harm to any of them. Then Moshe said to Korah, tomorrow you and all your company shall be there before Yahuwah, you and they and Aaron, and take each one his fire holder, and you shall put incense in it. And let each one bring his fire holder before Yahuwah, 250 fire holders, and you and Aaron, each one with his fire holder. So each one took his fire holder and put fire in it, and laid incense on it, and stood at the door of the tent of appointment with Moshe and Aaron. And Korah assembled all the congregation against them at the door of the tent of appointment. Then the esteem of Yahuwah appeared to all the congregation, and Yahuwah spoke to Moshe and to Aaron, saying, separate yourselves from the midst of this congregation, and let me consume them in a moment. But they fell on their faces and said, oh, Elohim of the spirits of all flesh, when one man sins, are you wroth with all the congregation? And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the congregation, saying, move away from around the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. So Moshe rose up and went to Dathan, and Abiram and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spoke to the congregation, saying, please turn away from the tents of these wicked men. Do not touch whatever belongs to them, lest you be consumed in all their sins. Oh my. But if they touch the people's stuff, wow. Then they moved away from around the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Dathan and Abiram came out and stood at the door of their tents with their wives and their sons and their little children. And Moshe said, by this you know that Yahuwah has sent me to do all these works, not because of my own heart. If these die as all men do, or if they are visited as all men are visited, then Yahuwah has not sent me. But if Yahuwah creates what is unheard of, and the earth opens its mouth and swallows them up with all their belongings to them, and they go down alive into the grave, then you shall know that these men have scorned Yahuwah. Oh boy. And it came to be, as he ended speaking all these words, that the ground under them split apart, and the earth opened his mouth and swallowed them up, with their households and all the men with Korah, with all their goods. So they and all those with them went down alive into the grave. And the earth closed over, then it closed over them, and they perished from the midst of the assembly. And all Israel who were round about them fled at their cry, for they said, lest the earth swallow us up. And a fire came out from Yahuah and consumed the 250 men who were offering incense. And Yahuah spoke to Moshe, saying, say to Eleazar, son of Aaron the Cohen, to pick up the fire holders out of the blaze, for they are Kadesh, and scatter the fire some distance away. Oh, he burnt up the people, and then they went and got their fire sticks from them. Oh boy, because they were still holy, so they didn't burn up. Verse 38. The fireholders of these men who sinned against their own lives, let them be made into beaten plates as a covering for the altar, because they brought them before Yahuah, therefore they are Kodesh. And let them become a sign to the children of Israel. They had more signs than a little bit. And Eleazar the Kohan took the bronze fire holders which those who were burned up had brought, and they were beaten out as a covering on the altar, a remembrance to the children of Israel that no stranger who is not of the seed of Aaron, and I know y'all saying, why am I saying that? But it's Aharon in the Hebrew, Aaron, should come near to offer incense before Yahuah and not be like Korah and his company, as Yahuah has said to him through Moshe. Oh, the other thing about that is that there are different ways to pronounce it, but I like Aaron, Aaron, Aaron. Verse 41. But all the congregation of the children of Israel grumbled against Moshe and against Aaron on the next day, saying, You have killed the people of Yahuah. Huh, then they gonna blame Moshe. He just told them if the ground opened up, that is Yahuah. And it came to be when the congregation assembled against Moshe and against Aaron, and they still came to kill him. But they turned toward the tent of appointment, and see, a cloud covered it, and the steam of Yahuah appeared. And Moshe and Aaron came before the tent of appointment. And Yahuah spoke to Moshe, saying, Arise from amidst this congregation, and let me consume them in a moment. And they fell on their faces. So Moshe said to Aaron, Take the fire holder and put fire in it from the altar, and lay incense on it, and go, hurry to the congregation and make atonement for them. For wrath is gone out from Yahuah, the plague has begun. Oh boy. And Aaron took it as Moshe commanded, and ran into the midst of the assembly, and saw that the plague had begun among the people. And he laid on the incense and made atonement for the people, and stood between the dead and the living, and the plague was stopped. And those who died in the plague were 14,700, besides those who died on account of Korah, the ones who went down in the ground. Then Aaron returned to Moshe at the door of the tent of appointment, for the plague had stopped. Absolutely incredible. A lot of stuff. That's the end. Well, I'll be back, y'all, with 17. Boy, I never really paid a whole lot of attention to the book of Numbers, but um, it's a wonder we still got an earth, because these people kept messing up and messing up and messing up. And if it weren't for Moshe, or otherwise known as Moses, they really would have been jacked up. For real. Bemidbar, otherwise known as Numbers, chapter 17. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and take from them a rod from each father's house, all their leaders according to their father's houses, 12 rods. Write each one's name on his rod, and write Aaron's name on the rod of Levi. For there is one rod for the head of each father's house. You shall then place them in the tent of appointment before the witness where I meet with you. And it shall be that the rod of the man whom I choose buds, and and it shall be that the rod of the man whom I choose buds, and I shall rid myself of the grumblings of the children of Israel, which they grumble against you. And Moshe spoke to the children of Israel, and all their leaders gave him a rod each, for each leader according to their fathers' houses, 12 rods. And the rod of Aaron was among their rods. So Moshe placed the rods before Yahuah in the tent of the witness. And it came to be on the next day that Moshe went into the tent of the witness and saw that the rod of Aaron of the house of Levi had budded and brought forth buds and blossomed and bore ripe almonds. I have to say this every time with Aaron. It's Aharon, Aaron. And so I like saying it, Aaron. Okay. And Moshe brought out all the rods from before Yahuah to all the children of Israel. And they looked, and each man took his rod. And Yahuah said to Moshe, bring Aaron's rod back before the witness to be kept as a sign against the rebels, so that you put an end to their grumblings against me, lest they die. And Moshe did as Yahuah had commanded him, so he did. And the children of Israel spoke to Moshe, saying, see, we shall die, we shall perish, we shall all perish. Anyone who comes near the Mishkan of Yahuah dies. Shall we be consumed to die? Bemidbar, otherwise known as Numbers, chapter 18. All right. And Yahuah said to Aaron, you and your sons and your father's house with you are to bear the wickedness against the Mikdash. Mikdash. And you and your sons with you are to bear the wickedness against your kahuna. A lot of words in here I won't get right, but I'll do the best I can. But bring with you your brothers of the tribe of Levi too, the tribe of your father, to join you and serve you while you and your sons are with you before the tent of the witness. And they shall guard your charge and the duty of all the tent. They do not come near the furnishings of the Kadesh place and the altar, lest they die, both they and you. And they shall be joined with you and guard the duty to the tent of appointment for all the service of the tent, but a stranger does not come near you. And you shall guard the duty of the Kodesh place and the duty of the altar, so that there be no more wrath on the children of Israel. And see, I myself have taken your brothers, the Levites, from the midst of the children of Israel, a gift to you given by Yahuah to do the service of the tent of appointment. But you and your sons with you are to guard your kahuna for all matters at the altar and behind the veil, and you shall serve. I have given you the kahuna as a gift for service, but the stranger who comes near is put to death. And Yahuah spoke to Aaron and said, I myself have also given you the charge of my contributions, all the Kodesh gifts of the children of Israel. I have given them to you for the anointing and to your sons as a law forever. Forever, forever, ever. This is yours of the most Kodesh gifts from the fire, all their offerings, all their grain offerings, and all their sin offerings, and all their guilt offerings, which they render to me, are most Kodesh for you and your sons. Eat it in the most Kodesh place. Every male eats it. It is Kodesh to you. This also is yours, the contribution of their gift with all the wave offerings of the children of Israel. I have given them to you and your sons and daughters with you as a law forever. Everyone who is clean in your house eats it. All the best of the oil and all the best of the new wine and the grain, their fruits, their first fruits, which they give to Yahuah, I have given them to you. The first fruits of all that is in their land, which they bring to Yahuah, are yours. Everyone who is clean in your house eats it. All that is dedicated in Israel's is yours. Everyone opening a womb of all flesh which they bring to Yahuah, whether man or beast, is yours. But the firstborn of man you shall certainly ransom, and the firstborn of the unclean beast you ransom, and ransom their ransomed ones when 1 month old, according to your valuation. 5 shekels of silver, according to the shekel of the Kodesh place, which is 20 gerahs. Okay. But the firstborn of a cow, or the firstborn of a sheep, or the firstborn of a goat, You do not ransom. They are Kadesh. Spring, Sprinkle their blood on the altar and burn their fat as an offering made by fire for a sweet fragrance to Yahuwah. I am so thankful for Yahusha coming because if we still had to do this, can you imagine how they'd be burning all day? And their flesh is yours as the wave breast and as the right thigh, it is yours. All the contributions of the Kadesh gifts which the children of Israel present to Yahuwah, I have given to you and your sons and daughters with you as a law forever. It is a covenant of salt forever before Yahuwah with you and your seed with you. And Yahuwah said to Aaron, you are not to have an inheritance in their land. Oh, nor have any portion in their midst. I am your portion and your inheritance among the children of Israel. And see, I have given the children of Levi all the tithes in Israel as an inheritance in return for the service which they are serving, the service of the tent of appointment. Okay, so, all right, and let the children of Israel no more come near the tent of appointment, lest they bear sin and die. Mm. Because the Levites shall do the service of the tent of appointment, so they themselves bear their wickedness. One thing about you didn't get two chances. You do this and you're dead. Mm-mm. A law forever throughout your generations that among the children of Israel they are to have no inheritance. But the tithes of the children of Israel, which they present as a contribution to Yahuwah, I have given to the Levites as an inheritance. That is why I have said to them, among the children of Israel, they have no inheritance. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the Levites and say to them, when you take from the children of Israel the tithes which I have given you from them as your inheritance, then you shall present a contribution of it to Yahuwah, a tenth of the tithe. And your contribution shall be reckoned to you as grain from the threshing floor, and as filling from the winepress. Thus you also present a contribution unto Yahuwah from all your tithes, which you receive from the children of Israel. And you shall give from it the contribution to Yahuwah to Aaron the Cohen. From all your gifts you present every contribution due to Yahuwah from all the best of them, the Kadesh part of them. And you shall say to them, when you have presented the best of it, then the rest shall be reckoned to the Levites as the yield of the threshing floor, and as the yield of the winepress. And you shall eat it in any place, you and your households, for it is your reward for your service in the tent of appointment. And bear no sin because of it, when you have presented the best of it, and do not profane the Kadesh gifts of the children of Israel, lest you die. Bemidbar, otherwise known as Numbers, chapter 19. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe and to Aaron, saying, this is a law of the Torah which Yahuwah has commanded, saying, speak to the children of Israel that they bring you a red heifer, a perfect one in which there is no blemish, and on which a yoke has never come. And you shall give it to Eleazar the Cohen, and he shall bring it outside the camp, and shall slaughter it before him. And Eleazar the Cohen shall take some of its blood with its finger, and sprinkle some of its blood 7 times toward the front of the tent of appointment. There's a lot of stuff to remember. And the heifer should be burned before his eyes. He burns its hide and its flesh and its blood and its dung. Um, and the Cohen shall take cedar wood and hyssop and scarlet and throw them into the midst of the fire, burning the heifer. Cohen shall then wash his garments and shall bathe his body in water and afterward come into the camp. But the Cohen is unclean until evening. I guess so. And he who is burning it washes his garments in water, and shall bathe his body in water, and is unclean until evening. And a clean man shall gather up the ashes of the heifer, and shall place them outside the camp in a clean place. And they shall be kept for the congregation of the children of Israel for the water for uncleanness. It is for cleansing from sin. Wow. And he who gathers the ashes of the heifer shall wash his garments, and is unclean until evening. And it shall be a law forever to the children of Israel, and to the stranger who sojourns in their midst. I'm so grateful he gave us something else for sacrificing. So I have to do this. I'm serious. He who touches the dead of any human being is unclean for 7 days. He is to cleanse himself with the water on the third day, and on the seventh day he is clean. But if he does not cleanse himself on the third day, then on the seventh day he is not clean. Anyone who touches the dead of a human being and does not cleanse himself defiles the Mishkan of Yahuah, and that being shall be cut off from Israel. He is unclean, for the water from uncleanness was not sprinkled on him. His uncleanness is still upon him. This is the Torah when a man dies in a tent. All who come into the tent and all who are in the tent are unclean for 7 days, and every open vessel which has no cover fastened on it is unclean. Anyone in the open field who touches someone slain by a sword, or who has died, or a bone of a man, or a grave, is unclean for 7 days. I guess he meant that when he said, don't fool with the dead. And for the unclean being, they shall take some of the ashes of the heifer burnt for cleansing from sin, and running water shall be put on them in a vessel. And a clean man shall take hyssop and dip it in the water, and shall sprinkle it on the tent and on all the vessels, and on the beings who were there, and on the one who touched the bone, or the slain, or the dead, or a grave. And the clean one shall sprinkle the unclean on the third day and on the seventh day. And on the seventh day he shall cleanse himself, and shall wash his garments, and bathe in water, and shall be clean in the evening. But the man who is unclean and does not cleanse himself, that being shall be cut off from among the assembly, because he has defiled the mikdash of Yahuah. Water for uncleanness has not been sprinkled on him. He is unclean. And it shall be a law for them forever. And the one who sprinkles the water for uncleanness washes his garments. And the one who touches the water for uncleanness is unclean until evening. And whatever the unclean being touches is unclean, and the being who touches it is unclean until evening. Bemidbar, otherwise known as Numbers, chapter 20. And the children of Israel, all the congregation, came into the wilderness of Tisin in the first month, and the people stayed in Kadesh. And Miriam died there and was buried there. Hmm. Now there was no water for the congregation, and they assembled against Moshe and against Aaron. And the people contended with Moshe and spoke, saying, if only we had died when our brothers died before Yahuah. Why have you brought up the assembly of Yahuah into this wilderness, that we and our livestock should die here? And why have you brought us up out of Mitzrayim to bring us to this evil place? Not a place of grain or figs or vines or pomegranates, and there is no water to drink. Then Moshe and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly to the door of the tent of appointment, and they fell on their faces, and the esteem of Yahuah appeared to them. And Yahuah spoke to Moshe, saying, take the rod and assemble the congregation, you and your brother Aaron, and you shall speak to the rock before their eyes, and it shall give its water. And you shall bring water for them out of the rock, and give drink to the congregation and their livestock. And Moshe took the rod from before Yahuah as he commanded him. And Moshe and Aaron assembled the assembly before the rock. And he said to them, hear now, you rebels, shall we bring water for you out of this rock? Then Moshe lifted his hand and struck the rock twice with his rod, and much water came out, and the congregation and the livestock drank. But Yahuah spoke to Moshe and to Aaron, because you did not believe me, to Kadesh me in the eyes of the children of Israel. Therefore, you do not bring this assembly into the land which I have given them. Oh, he got upset because they didn't believe him. Wow. These were the waters of Meribah, because the children of Israel contended with Yahuah, and he was Kadesh among them. And Moshe sent messengers from Kadesh to the sovereign of Edom. This is what your brother Israel said. You know all the hardship that was befallen us, that our fathers went down to Mitzrayim, and we dwelt in Mitzrayim a long time. And the Mitzrites did evil to us and our fathers. And we cried out to Yahuah, and he heard our voice and sent the messenger and brought us up out of Mitzrayim. And see, we are in Kadesh, a city in the edge of your border. Please let us pass over through our land, through your land. We shall not pass over through fields or vineyards, nor drink water from wells. We shall go along the sovereign's highway. We shall not turn aside, right or left, until we have passed over your border. But Edom said to him, You do not pass over through me, lest I come out against you with the sword. The children of Israel said to him, Why shall But no, we shall go by the highway, and if I or my livestock drink any of your water, then I shall pay for it. Let me only pass over on foot without a word. But he said, You do not pass over. And Edom came out against them with many men and with a strong hand. So when Edom refused to let Israel pass over through his border, Israel turned away from him. And the children of Israel, all the company, departed from Kadesh and came to Mount Hor. And Yahuah spoke to Moshe and to Aaron in Mount Hor, near the border of the land of Edom, saying, Aaron is to be gathered to his people, for he is not to enter the land which I have given to the children of Israel, because you rebelled against my mouth at the water of Meribah. Take Aaron and Eleazar his son, and bring them up to Mount Hor, and strip Aaron of his garments, and put them on Eleazar his son, for Aaron is to be gathered to his people and die there. Ooh. And Moshe did as Yahuah commanded, and they went up to Mount Hor before the eyes of all the congregation. And Moshe stripped Aaron of his garments and put them on Eleazar his son. And Aaron died there on the top of the mountain. And Moshe and Eleazar came down from the mountain. And when all the congregation saw that Aaron was dead, all the house of Israel wept for Aaron 30 days.